Hillary Clinton was asked a pretty tough but fair question at the debate last night about something that she said in a paid speech where the transcript was released by WikiLeaks. Let's see her response.
In a speech you gave to a Brazilian bank for which you were paid $225,000, we've learned from the WikiLeaks that you said this, and I want to quote, "My dream is a hemispheric common market with open trade and open borders." So that's the question. That's the question. Please quiet, everybody. Is that your dream, open borders?
Well, if you went on to read the rest of the sentence, I was talking about energy. You know, we trade more energy with our neighbors than we trade with the rest of the world combined. And I do want us to have an electric grid, an energy system that crosses borders. I think that will be a great benefit to us. But you are very clearly quoting from WikiLeaks. And what's really important about WikiLeaks is that the Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past. Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before.
That was a great pivot off the fact that you want open borders, okay? How did we get onto Putin? Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people, that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list, break up NATO, do whatever he wants to do, and that you continue to get help from him because he has a very clear favorite in this race.
This was the part of the debate where I almost melted from anger. Because I'm sitting there listening to Hillary Clinton, and I'm going, oh, so you just reignited the rhetoric of the Cold War and put it on steroids and human growth hormone. And think about what she did there. Because WikiLeaks has damaging stuff that is true about her and her campaign, they have no answer for it. She has no logical, rational response that explains away all of the shit in those emails. So what does she do? Russia! Putin! The Kremlin! Ooga booga! Be afraid! I mean, this is like, I don't know if this is a made-up word or not, but it's like Russia-phobia. That's what it feels like. It's almost like the old scapegoat that happened forever of just always blame the Jews. Always scapegoat the Jews. Always scapegoat black people. It's Russia. Oh, you have something embarrassing on me that's totally factually accurate? Russia. It's fucking Russia. Fucking Russia. There they go again. Russia. Now, here's the saddest part of it. That may have worked in the sense that people watching the debate, and this is what she did all night, and other times, I'll grant you, she did it much more artfully, where she's pinned on something, she instantly pivots and goes on the offense and makes him play defense. And that's what happens. So all of a sudden, you know, he called it out there. That was one of the only times he called it out where he was like, nice pivot off the question. But most of the times, he just immediately started playing defense. Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Whereas she, again, kept perpetual offense, and reframed the discussion. So that may have worked as a rhetorical trick, but to people who know this, and I think in this exchange, people in the liberal base, Bernie Sanders voters, they hear this and they go, you have no idea how hard you're making it for me to vote for you, Hillary. Because look at what you're fucking saying, man. I mean, this is, Chris Hayes was tweeting about this even. MSNBC milquetoast Chris Hayes was like, okay, this may be a good strategy domestically for the election, but this is kind of going down a bad road in terms of the rhetoric. Yeah, no shit. Just come out and say it. She reignited the rhetoric of the Cold War and put it on steroids and human growth hormone. Okay, and he goes on to say at one point, yeah, would it be nice to get along with Russia? Of course. Now, that's something where every single Democrat in the country would have agreed until this election. And now that their dear leader mommy, Hillary Clinton's all of a sudden being super hawkish and standoffish and escalating with Russia, they're like, what do you mean? Of course I'm hawkish and standoffish, and I want to escalate with Russia. Russia hacking, terrible, bad, terrible. And furthermore, I don't even get what's the end goal in your fucking brilliant conspiratorial paranoid mind about Russia doing this? Like, what's he doing? Oh, let's get Donald Trump elected. This is Vladimir Putin now. Let's get Donald Trump elected so that we can invade Kentucky. Like, what's the end goal? What are you saying? Well, if you elect Donald Trump, then that de-escalates from war, so I'm going to pick him. Well, don't we all want to de-escalate from war? Like, again, there's no argument. It's just fear-mongering. It's just like, Russia, fucking Russia. And fucking Russia. There's nothing there. I would like it if the Democrat wanted to de-escalate with Russia. I would like it if the Democrat, cared about coming to a solution without more weapons and fighting in Syria, for example, in Crimea. But they're mocking it now. She's so hawkish and she can't help herself so much that it's just, this is what she says. And again, I think it mostly has to do with the fact that she's caught and she has no out. Anytime you want to figure out whether or not a Democratic partisan is caught on a question, see if they pivot to Russia in this election. Because that's when you know they're caught. There's so much shit in those emails, man, that WikiLeaks released. So, for example, Hillary Clinton said about Syria, she said she knows that a no-fly zone and a safe zone would lead to massive numbers of civilian casualties. That was in the email. She said that in 2013. Any journalist today who's intelligent would say, well, hold on now. So, I guess you're okay with massive numbers of civilian casualties because that's the policy you advocate for. So that's something you should ask. But there's stuff like that. There's mocking of the Democratic base as communists, which her insiders did and people in her campaign did. So with all those things in there that are so damaging, telling environmentalists, get a life, there is no answer. She has no answer. There's no substantive response to it because she's caught. She's fucking caught. So what do? Russia. Fucking Russia. It's nice. So you pivot to where you think the leaks came from, as opposed to the substance of it. It's honestly like if a girlfriend or a boyfriend saw their lover's phone light up and they know, oh, this person's cheating on me. And then they bring it up to them and they go, why, you have taken away my privacy. How dare you? I'm against this on principle, let me tell you. Yeah. Come on, son. We all see through that argument. You got nothing to say because you were caught fucking cheating, so now you go, oh, my privacy has been, it's been destroyed. Maybe Russia built that phone. It's just so stupid. So look, most of the night, Hillary's pivot, go on the offense move worked, and she did it effectively. And most people, I think, followed her line of reasoning. When, she hammered him on the sexual assault thing and went to work. And, if she was asked a question about something where she's pinned, pivot, attack. This was the most inartful one and the grossest one. And I felt like I needed to take a shower after listening to it because it's ridiculous.